Okay, you guys, so I am making this video because I have made a really big decision and I have decided to share it with you guys. I went back and forth on if I was going to share it, how I was going to share it, what that was going to look like, because believe it or not, I can lean more to the private side with certain things. But y'all know your girl has been on her weight loss, health and wellness journey for the past almost year since having baby Cameron, my fifth baby that I've carried and given birth to. And y'all know I have lost almost 60 pounds naturally, which is crazy to even think about. And now I have finally gotten to my goal weight. And so now my goal is no longer to lose weight. I don't really want to drop any more weight. I kind of want to stay where I'm at now and just coast. And now my goal is just to tone up more muscle definition and just to build my endurance and get in the best shape that I've ever been in. But with that being said, there are still moments now, just being completely transparent, that I do look in the mirror, whether it's after I've had a shower, I'm changing, whatever, and I'm like, is this it for me? Like, is this as good as it gets? Because obviously there's signs of having 5 children. I've gotten older. Like, I don't expect my body to be how it was when I was 23, but I just have that looser skin. I have the stretch marks from carrying 5 babies. I'm not that person who is like really small when they're pregnant. I don't have the bounce back genetics. I get pretty big. Like my past probably like 3 pregnancies, my stomach, like the rest of my body doesn't get too big, but like my stomach gets huge. And I'm that woman who in public people are like, are you sure it's just the one or is it twins in there? All that stuff. So anyway, I also suffer from diastasis recti, which is when your ab muscles separate. A lot of women suffer from it after they've given birth or while pregnant. So I have major ab separation, which basically you still have like a rounder look. It's hard to tell right now. I have on this looser like pullover, and I also have on some shapewear. So I pretty much wear shapewear or girdles like anytime I'm like dressed, just to kind of smooth me out, give me a flatter look, because like I said, with that ab separation, you still have like a rounder look. So if I have on something form-fitting, I'm still giving like 3 months pregnant just because my stomach is rounder. And even with me losing so much weight, like I see it everywhere. I see it in my face, I see it in my arms, I see it in my legs, but I feel like my stomach doesn't match my body. And with me being naturally a smaller frame, it almost makes it worse, because when the rest of your body is so small, but your stomach is still rounded, then you still look pregnant. And I think, people could easily assume that I would be expecting with just the state of my stomach. So that leads me to what I'm sharing with you guys today, which is your girl has decided to have a mommy makeover. Yes, you heard me right. A mommy makeover. That may be shocking to some of you guys, and it's almost like kind of shocking to me too. If you would have just asked me like 4 to 6 months ago, would I ever do this? I probably would have told you no. Just being transparent. I just didn't think plastic surgery was for me. I probably would have been like, look, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat healthy, and that's just what it's gonna be at that point. And also, even outside of that, just the thought of it terrifies me. I've never had major surgery. I've never even had a C-section. I've been fortunate enough to have 5 vaginal births. I've never been cut, anything like that. So I don't have any experience with that. I've never even, just until like a little over 2 years ago, I had never even been put to sleep in my life. And the thought of being put to sleep was like giving me panic attacks when I had to do it like a little bit over 2 years ago after suffering a miscarriage. And that was just like a 30-minute procedure. So to think about being put to sleep for hours, like, terrifies me. But I'll tell you what kind of got me to where I'm at now. I was able to see a dance mom friend of mine who had a tummy tuck. I was able to kind of see her recovery more up close and personal. because I had heard all of these like horror stories when it came to people like getting work done and just how bad the recovery is, and thinking they were only going to have to recover for like 3 weeks, and it ends up being like 6 to 8 weeks, and just like all of this stuff. But I was able to see a dance mom friend kind of go through the process. I didn't see it too up close and personal, but just when we were like at the dance studio and stuff. So anyway, she had told me like, hey girl, I'm getting this procedure done. I knew the date she was going to get it done. And I kid you not, I think like a week later, she was back up at the dance studio, and she was moving slower, walking slower, a little hunched over, but still I was like, oh my gosh, like you're driving and you're back up at the studio just a week later. And then on like week 2, homegirl was like good, like moving faster. By week 3, it seemed like she was back to normal. So honestly, being able to like see that more up close and personal did kind of spark my interest a little bit. I was like, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. And so I kind of got more open to the idea. Now, I know everybody's recovery can look different, can be different. I'm actually getting a slightly different procedure than she had. That's just kind of what sparked my interest. So speaking of procedures, to share exactly what I have decided to get with you guys, my mommy makeover is going to consist of getting a tummy tuck with ab repair, diastasis, recti repair, lipo, and then also a boob lift. I decided to add on the whole boob thing at the last minute. Initially, when I started looking into all of this, I was just gonna do the stomach, but after just reading so many like reviews, doing research, talking to different people, looking at before and afters, I felt like if I'm gonna go through this, I'm gonna pay this money, I'm gonna go through the recovery, like I kind of want like a completed look, and I felt like it wouldn't really look completed if I got this stomach down and flat and right, but then these boobs were still to my belly button. I breastfed 4 babies. I didn't breastfeed Carrie. Well, I did for like 2 weeks, and then I stopped. She was my first baby that I had at 24, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But the 4 after Carrington, I breastfed for a full year, all 4 of them. And that was a mixture of pumping, exclusively pumping for some, nursing for some, a mixture of pumping and nursing for others. But after that, after doing that with 4 babies, these boobs are, feels like to my belly button, although they aren't because I have smaller boobs, but that's just what it feels like. So I felt like it wouldn't have been a completed look. I was not too comfortable with the thought of implants, and that's just me. That's just a personal thing or decision. Because I didn't like the thought of something foreign being in my body. I've had close friends tell me that they got them, and then 2 years later they were removing them because their body just rejected them for whatever reason. I know some people get them, they have 0 issues, complications, and then other people get it, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't work with their body. So I didn't want to go through all that. My desire is not to have bigger boobs. It's just, you know, lift them up a little bit so they're not all sad and deflated. So a boob lift, tummy tuck, and then lipo where needed as well. So yeah, that is what I have decided to do. So to catch you up on where I'm at now, because this has been a few like months and weeks in the making. So once I decided that maybe this is something I could look into. So initially I was in no rush. It literally just sparked my interest. I was like, maybe I would be open to just looking into it, like seeing what the cost is, what the whole like process looks like, the recovery, all that good stuff. I started like researching doctors. I got my dance mom's friends, doctors' information. And then I had another friend that was like, girl, you have to, or you should, you don't have to, but you should have consults with multiple people. Like, don't just go with the first person you heard about. Like book consults with multiple people just so you could get different pricing. You could just see who you vibe the best with, who you have the best feeling with, who has before and afters that kind of matches the aesthetic that you like, the look that you're going for. All those different things. And then also too, just availability, because some of these doctors in Houston have like wait lists that are months and months and months long. But when I started the whole process, I was in no rush. Right now, we are in November. When I share this with you guys, it will probably be like mid to late December after I have my procedure. Because that's just a personal decision that I made that I wanted to share after the fact. I didn't want people trying to talk me out of it. I honestly haven't, at this current moment, I have not shared with a lot of friends or family, just very, very close, like friends and family. Because I just didn't want people trying to talk me out of it. I didn't want to hear horror stories, none of that. I've like made up my mind. I made my decision. I've already paid my deposit at this point. I was going to tell you about that later in the video, but the decision is made, and this is something that I just want to do for me. And so to protect my peace, I've decided to like share this journey with you guys after the fact. So when I post this, it'll be like a month from now, but right now we're like in mid-November. So anyway, so I was saying, initially I was in no rush. I was like, maybe this could be next year, 2 years from now, or at the earliest, maybe this upcoming summer, because the girls, not only did I have to think about like myself, but I had to think about the kids' schedule because it's a major surgery. You're down for like 2 weeks at the very least, as far as not being able to drive, not moving around like how you normally do. So I had to consider that as well with the kids' schedules, because the girls start their dance competition season in January, like mid-January, and it goes all the way from January to the first week of July. And it's where they have competitions every other weekend. So I absolutely could not go down for 2 or 3 weeks in the middle of their comp season, because I have 3 competitive dancers. The competitions could be all weekend long or 12-hour days, and I just can't ask somebody to like step in for me for that. So anyway, I knew at the earliest it would have to be the summer once they were done with competition season. And honestly, initially I thought that was perfect. Like, they won't have dance for a couple weeks in the summer. They won't be in school. Like, that would be the perfect time to like do something like that. And then I was talking to a girlfriend and she was like, girl, if you can avoid the hot months for a procedure like that, I would encourage you to, especially in Texas, because y'all know we get in like triple digit heat in the summer, all the way from like June until like September. And so she was just like, you have to wear this garment after. It's called a faja. If you don't know what that is, it's like a compression garment, and a lot of them can go from like your knees to your elbows. So she's like, you are not going to want to have to wear that 24/7 in 105-degree weather, with incisions trying to heal and sweat and like all of that. She was like, so if you can do the cooler months, then I would recommend it. And then so that got me thinking, well, dang, that means I would either have to try and do it sooner rather than later. So in enough time that would give me 2 or 3 weeks to kind of like bounce back before competition season starts in January, or wait all the way for a full year until next holiday season. So at that point, I started researching more doctors. I watched so many like YouTube videos of people that have had mommy makeovers. I looked up TikTok videos, stuff on Instagram. I looked up reviews on Google. I found doctors from word of mouth. I actually have a neighbor who is a CRNA, the anesthesiologist assistant, I believe. And I was talking to her about it and telling her I decided to go through this, and she was like, oh, send me any doctors you're thinking about. Like, the medical field is very small. A lot of like me and my colleagues have worked with a lot of the plastic surgeons in Houston, and she's like, so I can, if I don't know anything about them, I can ask around and get feedback for you. And that was so helpful. I appreciate that she did that for me, because I sent her a list of like 5 people, and instantly she was sending it to friends and they were giving her feedback. A lot of them have worked with a lot of the plastic surgeons here in Houston. So they told me some to avoid, and then they told me some that were really, really good. So after doing my research, after talking to her, talking to friends, I narrowed it down to 3 doctors here in the Houston area. I booked consultations with them. And so over the past probably like month, I've had multiple consultations with doctors. And that leads me to where we're at now. I ended up landing on a doctor, and I could do a different video if you guys have questions on what made you choose your doctor. But basically I went off of price, availability, Obviously experience, being board certified, befores and afters, because even if you have 3 good doctors, everyone kind of has their thing and their look, and their befores and afters may all be different. And so you want to get someone who also kind of does work that aligns with the aesthetic that you're going for. So I did all of that. Who I felt the most comfortable with, because sometimes with these doctors that are booked and busy in Houston, you could be looked at just as another number, in and out. They're doing these consults all day. Or you could have someone that comes in, really takes time to talk to you, makes you feel comfortable, answers all your questions. So all of that. I ended up landing on a doctor out of the 3 that I had consults with, and that is where I'm at now. Last week I paid my deposit. So with the doctor that I chose, that I'm going to, you have to pay 10% of the procedure up front for a deposit to lock in the surgery date. It is non-refundable, so it's something that I did not take lightly, and I went back and forth on for weeks about. But last week I paid my deposit, so it is locked in, no turning back. Right now I'm like just a few days under, like exactly a month out. And I have my pre-op appointment in a couple days. So I figured, since it's real, since I made my deposit, surgery date locked in, there's no turning back, I am at the point now to where I wanted to share with you guys, let you know I was making this decision. And then I will be taking you along the journey over the next year, because it's a process. 6 months to a year for full 100% recovery. But at 3 months, they say you're pretty much like back to normal, good to go, no restrictions. You can work out, do all the things. But I will be taking y'all from here all the way until the end. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make this. So I am nervous and I am anxious. Like I said, it is a major surgery. It was not something to take lightly. It's also not cheap. It is pretty expensive as well, and I can get into that later down the line if you guys do have questions about cost and payment options and all different things like that. I don't mind sharing in regards to that, but this is kind of like just a preliminary video, just sharing my decision with you guys and letting you know that I'll be taking you guys on the journey. But I'm also excited. I feel like I'm doing this for me. Y'all know, if y'all are OGs, y'all have been around here for forever. I've had 5 babies within a 12-year time span. 4 of those, the last 4, which were pretty much every other year. Like I said, I've breastfed all of them. I've been in the thick of motherhood. Y'all know I give my all to my children. They pretty much run my life, with as busy as they keep us. I just told y'all earlier, we have 3 competitive dancers, so that takes up all of our time. But I feel like I'm doing this for me. Like, I deserve this. We have closed the chapter of having kids, like for real. And this is how y'all know, because y'all keep trying to play with me, play in my face, saying that, oh, I see one more baby in y'all, or 7 is the number of completion. Like, no, we're done. We are at our max capacity with the kids. I feel very at peace about it. And there's no way I'm paying all this money and going through a major procedure like this and risking having another baby. So we're talking through some permanent measures as well, as far as birth control, because we're done. I am ready to just be on the other side of all of this. Like I said, y'all know I've been on this health and wellness journey for a year. I'm getting back to feeling like myself, hopefully looking like myself, again, postpartum. And it's coming like 2 weeks before Christmas. So this is like an early Christmas gift to myself. And so although I am nervous and anxious about it all, I'm excited as well. And so that's that. I will be taking you guys along the journey. One is different, so no shade to anyone that has done this differently. But for me, I feel at peace with knowing that I have truly like done all that I could as far as like my health and wellness journey. Like I've literally made this a lifestyle. Even now till this day, I have cleaned up my diet so much. I work out 3 to 5 times a week. It's not something I'm doing to get to a goal. It's literally just like my lifestyle now. And I plan on keeping this lifestyle up after surgery. I'm not using this as a weight loss thing. I've lost all this weight naturally on my own. So I'm like, I did my part. Now I'm letting the doctors do the part that they specialize in and that they control. And I did everything that I can control. There's literally nothing. Oh, and I wanted to share when I went to my consults, all of them across the board, they were like, they were sweet about it, but they were just like, man, those babies did a number on you. And they were like, there's literally no amount of exercise that you could have done to correct the ab separation that I had. Like my ab separation is really bad. I will share before and afters as well along this process too, not in this video, but down the line I'll share before and after photos and videos as well. But they were just like, there's no amount of working out that you could do to like fix your ab separation, to fix the loose skin that I had. So it got to a point where I had to decide, like, can I live with this forever? Am I content with this body? Now that I've lost the weight, I've toned up, all those things. Is this as good as it's gonna get? And am I content with it? And so yeah, I feel good about my decision. And like I said, I feel like I deserve it. I've had so many moms that have gone through the process that have told me it's literally life-changing. You're not going to regret it. Even with the recovery and everything, if I could go back, I would do it all over again. I did not read one review that was like, I regret it. And I probably read hundreds of reviews. I watched so many YouTube videos, so many TikToks, read so many reviews. And literally, I didn't read one that was like, I regret it. They were like, now in the thick of that recovery process, it was a mess. And I was like, what did I do? But now that I'm on the other side of that, they were like, I would do it again without thinking twice. So that's just where I'm at with it. I'm excited about it. And like I said, I have my pre-op appointment in a couple days. Today's a Sunday. I have it on a Thursday, and they told me to prepare to be there for a couple hours because they said it's like information overload, and I guess they're gonna walk me through everything that I need to be doing leading up to the procedure and then what it'll look like after. So I will try and take you guys along for that on Thursday, kind of give you a summary afterwards of what they said. And then I believe from there, the next time I see her will be on surgery day, unless I see her a day or two before. But I've already had lab work done. The doctor that I went to, they order labs before they do the procedure on you, just to make sure everything is good, your health is in the order, you're in a good, healthy state to have a procedure like this. I actually went a further step and I got a mammogram done since I'm doing a breast lift as well, because I told the doctor I have a strong family history of breast cancer because I had it on both sides, my dad and my mom's side. And so I just wanted to know, what does that look like if you're messing with this area up here. And I've never had a mammogram because they don't recommend you get it until you're 40 and over, but I'm under 40, obviously. So she said she recommends for her patients, if they do have a strong history of breast cancer, just to go ahead and get a mammogram and a screening just to make sure. It's not a requirement, but so I did that for my own peace of mind. So I already had that done. I already got my results. Everything was clear there. I got my lab work back. Everything was good. So that's where we're at. And I will take you guys along for the journey. One last thing. I decided to book the procedure for like a week and a half before Christmas. Because I felt like that would give me a full week of the kids still being at school and being able to kind of recover and rest at home without the chaos of 5 kids at home. Obviously the baby will still be here, but I'm gonna have the nanny here who's gonna be staying overnight for us for a minimum of 7 days. I told her I was having the procedure asked because she stay with us to help Brian out, because I know I'll be down. for at least 7 to 10 days, like down, and really needing like hands-on assistance from all the research that I've done. And then the kids will be out of school for the Christmas break for 2 weeks. So I thought that was perfect that I would have 7 days to recover, probably a little bit over 7 days, I think, like 7 to 10 days to recover before their Christmas break. Hopefully by then I'm feeling a little bit better. And then they'll be out of school for 2 weeks. So we won't have carpool. They'll have a 2 week break from dance, all of that good stuff. And then hopefully by the time they go back to school in the new year, I'll be up and moving and driving and all that good stuff. So I thought that in my head, I feel like that timing is perfect. Hopefully once the timing gets here, it works out like that, like how I'm envisioning. And then hopefully by mid-January, which is when their competition season starts, I'm good to go again to help them with that. So that was the last thing I wanted to share, but I'm leaving now. And the next update you guys will get will be after my pre-op appointment. And the update after that will be surgery day.